bulletproof body armor. I talked with Miss Brady, and we agreed for the it's 4 pages that were the duplicate pages, so we've taken care of that. So in summary, Judge, I'm just requesting what the next CTR numbers from the court so I can give the court these 3 exhibits.
Skirlings, you know? 14 is the next one, so you'd have to use 14, 15, and 16.
We will do that, Judge, and I'll give that to your clerk now.
Okay, and the last exhibit, Ms. Tish McGuire, has that been redacted?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And for the record, that was exhibit number 1120, P-TR-1120. Thank you. Okay, anything from the defense? Are you ready for the jury, Ms. Spengler? Yeah. Okay, let's bring him in, please. Please be seated, everyone. Welcome back, members of the jury. Ms. Tish McGuire, please call your next witness.
Edgar Nava.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Do you solemnly swear or affirm on the penalty of law that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please be seated. Please tell us your full name and spell your first, middle, and last names.
My name is Edgar Nava, Victor Edgar Nava Hernandez. They're spelled VictorEdgarNavaHernandez.
Thank you. Ms. Tish McGuire, you may proceed.
Were you at the Century 16 movie theater in Aurora, Colorado on July 20th of 2012?
Yes, I was.
Did that start earlier that night on July 19th of 2012?
Yes.
What did you do on the day of July 19th of 2012?
I was working at Red Robin. Me and my friends were talking about going to the Batman movie. I didn't know that it was one of our friends' birthday, but then it became like, first it was just like a going out night, and then we realized that it was his birthday, and it became a celebration.
Whose birthday was it?
Alex Sullivan. We know him as Sully.
What friends did you go to the movie with that night?
There was like 13, 14 of us. It was Tony Villapando, Bryson Villapando.
And I'm going to ask you to go slowly for our court reporter, please.
Okay. Maria Carbonell, 2 of her kids. I was Jasmine, Christina, Alex Sullivan, Chelsea Sobolik, Jackie, Farah, Heather, and that's all I can remember right now.
Pretty good. What'd you do? What time did you get to the theater that night?
We got there at like 5 in the afternoon.
You were very excited to see that.
Yeah, we were.
What'd you do while you were waiting from 5 o'clock in the afternoon?
Well, I haven't seen the first Batman movie, so I watched it on my laptop, me and Sully, and then we watched another unrelated to Batman movies.
What time were you able to get into the theater that night?
Around 8:30 when the cleaning crew let us in.
What'd you do when you got into the movie theater?
We just start talking, like having fun. Uh, we actually play a little prank on the people sitting in front of us.
What prank did you play on the people sitting in front of you?
There was this one guy saying that he needed to go back to the lobby and that he wanted his seat saved for him. So us in the behind them, we switch, and we're like, remember this guy was sitting in front of me, so when he comes back, all you have to tell him is that he was sitting in front of me. He came back and he was like, you guys move. We're like, weren't you sitting behind this guy? Oh, okay. And eventually we tell them we did have move.
Do you recall what theater number you were in that night?
The night that it happened, I did not know what movie I was in up until I was told later.
Do you believe that you were in theater 9 that night?
Yes.
What else do you remember about while you were waiting for the movie to begin?
Just people having fun.
At some point, were there previews for your movie?
Yeah.
Did your movie begin eventually?
The movie began eventually.
What happened in the movie that evening?
Well, we got so excited when the movie started playing. I remember me and Sully sitting in the edge of our seats because we were the two more closest, so we were like excited. And like 15 minutes into the movie, I saw this flying firecracker, what appeared to me like a firecracker, and it landed next to one of my friends that were there, Tony.
What do you recall after that?
I was just about to stand up and say something, and before I did that, I saw a little appeared to me like a flash, like a yellow reddish flash on the right side of the screen, if you're facing the screen.
And did you notice anything happening to you at that point?
I just felt like little punctures in my left arm, and I recognized the sound, and I knew that those were gunshots, but this time they were louder, and so I knew that this was no game, and so I dug down. And Sully asked me, "What are you doing?" And I said to him, "Get down." And as he started to get down, and he got down and he landed on my left leg, and I was trying to make space for him and my friend Christina too. She was sitting on my left side.
Were they both able to get to the ground with you?
Eventually,
What do you recall happening around you at that point in time?
there was I remember not being able to breathe. I had to cover my mouth because I couldn't breathe, and then I used my shirt.
I wonder if the record can reflect that the witness just used his hands to cover his nose and his mouth.
Okay.
So you used your shirt to try to help you breathe. What do you remember after that?
I remember by that time my friend Sully was breathing heavily, so I tap him on his back to, I don't know, trying to help him like relax, but I didn't know that he had been shot.
What else do you recall? Could you see what was happening with Christina?
Yeah, Christina by that point was really hurt. Her leg was, I remember I was able to see her leg was like shattered.
Interject an objection. The cumulative in 403.
Overruled.
You can keep describing for the jury what you noticed about Miss Blosh's leg.
Yeah, her leg was like shattered, and she asked me if I can use my hands to support the weight of her leg, and I reached out, and once she let go, she said that it was more painful.
And are there still gunshots going on around while this is happening?
Yes.
And are you able to see the shooter at all at this point in time?
Unfortunately, no.
What do you recall doing after you had tried to help Miss Blosh with her leg?
After that, I couldn't do anything, so I just waited for for someone to tell me that it was okay, that it was safe to get up.
Your Honor, with the court's permission at this time, I would ask Mr. Nava to take the handheld microphone and approach the diagram so that he could show the jury where he was in the theater that evening.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Mr. Nava, you can come down. All right, if you could stand right here for me. And if you could please, and did you turn that on?
Yeah.
Okay, great. If you could please show the jury approximately where you believe you were seated that evening.
I was sitting around right here, one of these two seats.
All right, and where was Sully seated?
Sully was sitting on the right of me, so around here.
All right, and where was Miss Blosh?
Around here. And then Jasmine and the rest.
All right. And could you describe for the jury where it is that you saw that canister that came across?
I saw it from like across this way, from this way flying across
And
to this side.
do you recall where you saw the flashes come from?
Yeah, like from here. Pointing from here up.
Were you ever able to see a figure of a shooter at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay. And so you never saw the shooter in the theater at all?
No.
Okay. And could you describe for the jury how it is that you finally exited the theater?
After a cop came, she asked me if I can walk, that I should walk. So I jumped over some seats and trying to find a safe step because there were a lot of bodies there. I came down here and there was bodies here too, and I exit this way.
All right, back to the main lobby of the...
Back to the main lobby.
All right, thank you very much. You can take
Yeah.
your seat, Mr. Allen. So after you got out into the main lobby, what did you do after that?
After I got to outside, we were asked to stay line up with the movie theater wall because they wanted to organize us for those of us who were in theater number 9. They wanted us to have us separated from the rest of the people.
At some point in time after you had been outside for a while, did you notice any injuries on yourself?
Yeah, I was starting to like calm down, and I felt another throbbing feeling in my right arm, hand,
Right, and could you describe for the jury where in your right hand?
like on my thumb, like right here.
Right, and would the record reflect that the witness is pointing to the part of his palm closest to his thumb?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and you'd already described for the jury that you had felt something on your left arm. Could you describe for the jury where that was?
It was in this little bone here in the middle of my arm and on my elbow, and something on my left side of the eye.
Right, and the record can reflect the witness just pointed to his left temple area on the other side of his eye, pointed to his wrist bone, the middle of his left forearm, and then also his left elbow.
Yeah. And sometimes I can still feel something in my elbow.
Like there's an object inside
Yeah.
your left elbow?
It was not there before.
Did you ever seek any medical treatment for those injuries that you sustained?
Well, I was more worried about my friends because my injuries were minor. So I was just like, clean off the blood and that's it.
Did you get interviewed by anyone that evening about the incident?
After that, I was taken to Gateway High School, and I was we were kept there for I don't know how long. And yes, I was interviewed by, I don't remember who.
Your Honor, if I may approach the witness with what's been marked as People's Exhibit 4678.
Yes.
Your
Mr.
Honor,
Kno-
may we approach?
Yes. Ms. Stitch McGuire, you may proceed.
Do you recognize the person that is pictured in 4678?
Yes, I do.
Who is that person?
It's our friend Alex Sullivan.
Is that the person that you went to the movie theater with that night?
Yes.
Mr. Nava, have you ever seen Alex Sullivan alive after that evening?
No.
Your Honor, at this time I would ask to publish 4678, which has been previously admitted.
Yes.
If I could please have 4678. And is that, in fact, Alex Sullivan?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. If you could take that down. I have no further questions. Thank you very much.
Any cross-examination?
No.
And the jury does not have any questions for this witness. So may this witness be released from his subpoena, Ms. Stitch McGuire.
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Is there any objection?
No.
All right, sir, thank you. Call your next witness, please.
Sandra Fisher, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. You solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of law that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, sir. Please be seated. Please tell us your full name and spell your first, middle, and last names.
My name is Sandra K. Fisher, SandrakayFisher.
Okay, Mr. Orman, you may proceed.
Thank you. Can you please tell us who do you work for and what do you do for them?
I work for the City of Aurora Police Department as a criminalist.
What is a criminalist?
My main duty with Aurora is as a fingerprint examiner. I also do a limited number of crime scene investigation.
What qualifications do you need to be a fingerprint examiner with the Aurora Police Department?
This year marks my 20th year in the crime lab, and I have had training through the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and by various others considered to be experts in the field of fingerprint identification.
Approximately how many trainings have you gone through?
I have over 400 hours of specifically devoted fingerprint training outside of work.
Are you a member of any professional associations dealing with fingerprints and similar subjects?
Yes, I am.
Please describe that.
I am a member of the International Association for Identification, also called the IAI.
Have you written any published articles in peer-reviewed journals regarding fingerprint analysis?
Just one article.
What was that?
It was an article in regard to the training of fingerprint examiners called From Galton Points to ACE-V, ACE-V.
What publication was that in?
That was published in several regional journals of the IAI and also in a weekly publication for fingerprint examiners called the Weekly Detail.
Ever been qualified as an expert witness in fingerprint identification previously?
Yes, I have.
In how many courts?
In this court and in the 17th Judicial District.
How many times have you testified as an expert witness regarding fingerprints?
Several dozen now.
Do you have to undergo any proficiency testing to make sure that you are accurate in your determinations as a fingerprint examiner in order to work for your crime lab?
We undergo proficiency testing once per year, and additionally I am certified as an examiner with the IAI.
Your Honor, at this point I'd ask that the witness be accepted as an expert witness in the field of fingerprint examination.
Is there any additional objection?
No.
All right, with no additional objection, and based on the record made just now and my previous ruling, the court accepts Ms. Fisher as an expert witness in the field of fingerprint examination. And so what that means, folks, is that pursuant to Rule 702 of the Colorado Rules of Evidence and the decision in People v. Schreck, 22 Pacific 3rd, 68, Colorado 2001, this witness has now been accepted by the court as an expert and has been I am permitting her to render expert opinions. I'll give you the same instruction I've given you before. You're not bound by the testimony of a witness who testifies as an expert. The credibility of an expert's testimony is to be considered as that of any other witness. You may believe all of an expert witness's testimony, part of it or none of it. The weight that you give the testimony is entirely your decision. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, first I want to ask you about using fingerprints to confirm the identities of the homicide victims. Did you participate in such a procedure?
Yes, sir, I did.
And is that a normal part of your job?
Yes, it is.
Did you obtain fingerprints from the bodies of all 12 homicide victims?
Yes, sir.
And were you able to compare some or all of them to readily available databases that people in your field of expertise use in order to make those identifications?
For 10 of them, yes.
Okay. What are the databases that you used to do that?
In this case, the vast majority were from the State of Colorado Department of Motor Vehicle database and one from the military database governed by the FBI.
Can you explain how that works? I guess I haven't gotten a driver's license at an actual place for a long time. How do they get fingerprints?
In the state of Colorado, when someone applies for a driver's license or identification card, they are required to provide an image of their fingerprint, their right index print.
Do you have ability to access that database as a fingerprint examiner?
Yes, sir, I do.
Were you then able to compare the fingerprints from that database and the one from the military database that you described to the fingerprints that you obtained from the deceased victims?
Yes, sir.
And when I say you obtained, did you personally obtain them?
Yes, I did.
Were you able then to confirm the identity through the fingerprint database of any of the victims?
Of 10 of them, yes.
Which ones?
John Larimer, Jesse Childress, Alexander Boyk, Jonathan Blunk, Rebecca Wingo, Alex Sullivan, Gordon Cowan, Michaela Medic, Alexander Teves, and Jessica Gowey.
Now, does every state in the union, to your knowledge, maintain a fingerprint, like thumbprint, on file for all drivers?
They, in fact, do not.
Was one of the victims from another state where he had a driver's license that would not have a fingerprint in that database?
Yes, Matthew McQuinn had an Ohio driver's license, and they do not collect a fingerprint impression when someone applies for a license.
So you're not able to do a comparison for Matthew McQuinn?
That is correct.
And obviously, little children are not in the Department of Revenue database?
That is correct.
So were you able to do a comparison for Veronica Mosier Sullivan?
I was not.
I want to ask you now about October 1st of 2012. Did you obtain a set of what are called major case prints from the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And the person that you obtained the prints from, is he present in the courtroom today?
Yes, he is.
Could you please point him out for us? Describe what he's wearing.
He's sitting at the defense table wearing glasses and a beige shirt.
Subject to cross-examination, Your Honor, I request the record reflect identification.
The record will so reflect.
Thank you. What are major case prints?
Major case prints are impressions of all of the ridge detail on the fingertips, the sides of the fingers, the joints, and the entire area of the palm, wherever there is ridge detail on the hand.
Are they different than the normal fingerprints that are taken when anyone is arrested?
Yes, they are. They are more encompassing of all of the detail.
In what way are they more encompassing?
Generally, when someone takes just regular prints, it may just be just the fingertip or the vast majority of the palm, but not necessarily the sides or the center of the palm or the finger joints or the sides of the fingers.
The fingerprints that you then got from the defendant, were these inked prints or did you use a machine? How did you actually get them?
I used ink and powder with a sticky sheet.
What do you mean by a sticky sheet?
It's a white sheet that is sticky, a little bit more sticky than a Post-it note. If you apply powder to the hands and then put the sticky sheet on top of the powdered hand, it leaves a very clean impression, cleaner than ink.
Did you later scan these prints and send them to another crime lab so one of their analysts could compare them to items of evidence that were found in this case?
Yes, I did.
What crime lab was that?
The Federal Bureau of Investigation
Do you know where that crime lab is located?
in Quantico, Virginia,
Do you remember when you sent that to them?
December 18th of 2014.
Your Honor, if I may approach the witness with what I've marked for identification as People's Exhibit 785, it is 6-page exhibit.
Yes.
Handed you now People's Exhibit 785. Those the fingerprints, or is that an accurate copy of the fingerprints that you took off of the defendant on October 1st, the major case prints?
Yes, they are.
And is that what you've sent to the Federal Bureau of Investigation lab in Quantico, Virginia?
Yes, they are.
Move to admit 785, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, P-TR-785 is admitted.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any cross-examination, Ms. Spangler?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You mentioned taking some prints from Mr. Holmes on October 10th of 2012. You also took just a few photographs of Mr. Holmes on October 10th of 2012. Is that right?
I believe it was October 1st. Yes, I also took photographs.
Okay. And I'm going to approach the witness, if I may, Your Honor, with what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 14 and 15.
Okay.
Let me correct that. It's 15 and 16.
All right, thank you.
And Your Honor, I don't object to the admission of these.
Are you moving these into evidence?
I am. Do those reflect the photographs that you took of Mr. Holmes that day?
These are two of them, yes.
Okay, and you took 3 altogether?
Ma'am.
In the third one, he was blinking, his eyes were closed?
Correct.
Okay. I am moving for the admission, Your Honor.
They're admitted, and they may be published.
Okay. We don't need to publish them right now. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
And there do not appear to be any questions from the jury. So may this witness be released from her subpoena, Mr. Orman?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Call your next witness, please.
Peter Hunker, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Could I have you raise your right hand so that I can administer an oath? Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of law that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please be seated. Please tell us your full name and spell your first, middle, and last names.
Peter Vincent Hunker, P-E-T-E-R, Vincent, V-I-N-C-E-N-T, Hunker, H-U-N-K-A-R.
Mr. Orman.
Sir, how are you currently employed?
I'm the Executive Director of the Colorado Milk Marketing Board.
Did you always work for the Milk Marketing Board?
No, I was a FBI agent before that,
How long were you an FBI agent?
23 years.
What was your job back in July of 2012?
I was assigned to the white-collar crime squad, and I was also part of the evidence response team in the Denver field office.
Of the FBI?
Yes.
Okay. That wasn't a Milk Marketing Board job?
No, it was not.
What was your job as far as evidence response was concerned, and how do you get to be on an FBI evidence response team?
You have to apply to be on the team. Everybody on the evidence response team volunteers for that. So you apply, you're selected, and then you go through additional training to become part of that team.
How long were you on the evidence response team? How many years?
16 or 17 years.
Were you part of the evidence response team, or one of the evidence response teams related to the apartment building at 1690 Paris Street on July 21st, 2012?
Yes, I was.
Now, there was a search of the apartment. Is that what you were part of?
No, I did not participate in the search of the apartment. I participated in the search of the dumpster and some bags of trash close to the dumpster.
Was there a dumpster then in the parking lot for 1690 Paris Street?
Yes, there was a dumpster close to that building.
Anything unusual about the dumpster? I mean, a standard dumpster you might see?
No, it looked like, a regular dumpster in front of an apartment building.
Did you collect evidence associated with that dumpster?
I did.
Where was the evidence that you collected located?
It was in a plastic bag near the dumpster as well as inside the dumpster. There were items of evidence we collected.
Can you please describe then the process that and was there anyone else on the team?
There were 2 other people involved in that search. We had responded to the theater shooting the night before. We were at that scene, and then we came back early in the morning, and myself and an agent that was a team leader for the ERT, Scott Jones.
Can you spell that for us?
Scott Jones, Schons.
Okay, please continue.
And there was also a bomb technician who was a task force officer that was assisting us with that search.
You know his name?
If I looked at the documentation, but it's not a typical name.
Does Zabrowski refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay. Is that who it was?
Yes.
Zbrowski. Does that sound right?
That sounds right. It would be listed on the documentation from the scene.
Can you describe then the process that you went through to collect and catalog the items of evidence that were associated with that dumpster for 1690 Paris Street?
Sure. We both, myself and Agent Schons, we took some evidence packaging material from the theater location. We drove to the dumpster location. That area was already sort of sealed off. I think there were some police officers as well as bomb technicians at that location. So we set up close to the dumpster. We had a briefing from some of the people on location at that scene concerning the potential hazards at that scene. And then we began our processing of the dumpster.
And if I may approach the witness with what I've marked for identification as People's Exhibits 4058, 4059, 4060, 4061, 4062, 4063, 4064, 4065, 4066, and 4067.
Yes.
Please take a look at those for me.
Yes. These are pictures of the dumpster and the inside of the dumpster, overall photographs.
Do they accurately depict the way the dumpster and the area around the dumpster looked?
Yes.
Move to admit, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, P-TR-4058 through 4067 inclusive are admitted and may be published.
Thank you. If we could please just go through those in sequence. 4058, please. Is that the dumpster?
Yes, that is the dumpster.
And I see a couple of bags off to the side. Are those the bags you were talking about?
Yes.
Please go to 4059, please. What's that?
That is a different view of the dumpster with the bags.
4060, please.
That is the top, the lid of the dumpster from a different angle.
4061, please.
That is the dumpster again, different view.
4062, please.
It's a closer picture of the trash bags by the dumpster.
4063.
That is a overall shot of the inside of the dumpster.
4064.
That is again a closer image of the contents of the dumpster.
4065.
A slightly different angle of the contents of the dumpster.
4066.
A different area of the inside of the dumpster, the contents of the dumpster.
Okay, I think that's enough for now. Thank you. Did you, in fact, collect items of evidence that look to you to have possible evidentiary significance from the area of that dumpster?
Yes, I did.
If I showed you those items, do you think you would be able to recognize them?
Yes.
Your Honor, if I may please approach the witness with what has been marked for identification as People's Exhibit 451 and 452.
Yes.
This is 451, this is 452. Do you recognize those?
Yes, these are targets I collected.
Where did you collect 451?
Did you say 4051?
No, 451, Your Honor. Did I say 4051 before? I meant 451.
Okay. So these are P-TR-451 and 452, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
This is an item, this is a target with blue tape, human target. And my initials are on the bag, and it was collected from the black bag near the dumpster.
And how about 452?
These targets were also collected from the black garbage bag in the vicinity of the dumpster. My initials are on the collection bag.
Move to omit 451 or 452, Your Honor.
Any objection, Ms. Spengler?
No objection.
Without objection, P-TR-451 and 452 are admitted.
If it's okay with the court, Your Honor, if I would ask the witness be able to just hold these up so the jury can see him from where he is, starting with 451.
Yes, and if you need to stand up, you can do so.
Now, I can see that that is sort of torn there on the face of the person in the poster or target. Was it that way when you found it?
I believe so, but I don't specifically recall that.
Okay. You know what, there's a handheld microphone so people can hear you. And you got to turn it on.
Yeah, I don't specifically recall that tear, but I believe this is the way I found it. There's the blue tape on it, and it's a human form target.
Was it all spread out like that when you found it, or was it crumbled up?
I believe it was crumbled up.
You can put that down, please. But, well, keep the microphone. I'm going to ask you to do the same thing with the next one, 452.
These are what we would call bullseye targets, and they were also found in the black trash bag near the dumpster.
Now, these four ones up top appear to be cut out. Is that the way that you found them?
Yes, this is the way we found them. There's one that's intact.
And that's the one at the bottom?
That's correct. And this appears to be a rifle target.
Please put that down. Thank you.
You can turn the microphone off if you like. Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I'm going to approach the witness with numerous exhibits. Can I just do so without inquiring of the court each time?
Yes.
Thank you. I've handed you what's been marked as 453. What is that?
These are empty ammunition boxes for 40 caliber ammunition. That's blazer brass ammo.
Where did you find those?
These were also in the black trash bag. I see my initials and the description that says black garbage bag.
How many empty ammo boxes are there in there?
There's 7 empty ammo boxes.
What's the brand name?
It's blazer brass ammunition.
Move to admit 453, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, P-TR-453 is admitted.
I've handed you what's been marked as People's Exhibit 454. Do you recognize that?
Yes, these are empty handcuff boxes.
Where did you find those?
These were also found in the black garbage bag. My initials are on the packaging material.
Move to admit, Your Honor, 454.
Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, P-TR-454 is admitted.
I'm going to handing you what I've marked for identification as People's Exhibit 4079, 4080, 4081, and 4082. Please take a look at those.
Yes.
Are those photographs that accurately depict what those handcuff boxes looked like when you recovered them?
Yes, they do.
Move to admit 4079, 4080, 4081, and 4082.
Any objection, Ms. Spengler?
No objection.
Without objection, P-TR-4079 through 4082 inclusive are admitted.
If we could please publish 4079. And 4080. And there's writing in a little white box at the top of the back of each of those boxes. Did you put that there, or was that there when you found it?
No, that was there when we found it.
Thank you. Handing you what I've marked as 455 and 456. Do you recognize those items?
Yes, these were items we also recovered from the black garbage bag near the dumpster.
So what is 455? I think you're looking at 456.
So this 455 is some black tactical type of gear.
And what is 456?
This is some blue cloth that's been cut or customized.
Move to omit 455 and 456.
Any objection, Ms. Spengler?
No objection.
All right, without objection, P-TR-455 and 456 are admitted.
Sir, I'm going to hand you what I've marked as 4083, 4085, 4086, and 4087. Ask you to take a look at those.
Yes,
Do those accurately depict the way that People's Exhibit 455 and 456 looked when you found them?
yes,
Move to admit, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection to those photos.
Without objection, P-TR-4083, 4085, 4086, and 4087 are admitted and may be published.
If we could please take a look at 4083. Now, is that the way it looked when you found it?
yes. These are bags and sort of black gear that looks like it's been cut and customized to some extent.
Have you ever seen stuff like that before?
Sustained.
Well, if I may attempt to establish a reason that it's relevant, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
You said it's cut, correct?
Yes,
Are you familiar with such items and the way they might look if they were cut in a sort of a customized way by a professional?
yes,
Overruled.
What's your answer?
yes, I'm familiar with these type of items. If they're customized to some extent in a professional manner, I don't see that with these items.
They just appear to be cut.
They just appear to be cut.
And if we could please look at 4087.
Yes,
And what is that?
it's some blue cloth. It's also appears to be cut.
Mr. Orman and Ms. Spengler, can you approach for just a moment, please?
clarification question regarding the items that we just saw in the last two exhibits, 455 and 456. Did they look like they are cut the way you would find them at a professional shop that customizes this stuff, or just somebody doing it?
Somebody doing it.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to first show you what I've marked as People's Exhibit 457, and tell me if you recognize that.
Yes, this is a bullet, red-tipped 223 bullet that we found
Where did you find that?
in the black garbage bag.
Your Honor, move to omit 457.
Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, P-TR-457 is admitted.
Your Honor, can I put that up on the Elmo just for a second?
Yes.
Thank you. We can pull that up a little bit so we can see that in there. Thank you. Now, it's a little bit washed out in that image, but is that an unfired or a fired 223 round?
It is an unfired live round.
Okay, and the caliber 223, is that also called something else?
Yes, it's 5.56, I think, millimeter round.
So there's like a metric and an American?
Metric and a caliber designation for that type of ammunition.
I'm going to hand you what I've marked as People's Exhibit 458, 460, and 462. And tell me if you recognize those items.
Yes, these items were also recovered from the black garbage bag. They have my initials on the packaging material.
Okay, can you remove those from the plastic, the original packaging bag, please? Move to admit, Your Honor, 458, 460, and 462.
Any objection, Ms. Spengler?
No objection.
Without objection, P-TR-458, 460, and 462 are admitted.
And Your Honor, can I use the Elmo again?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm assuming, Mr. Orman, that the sticker number is still on this part of the exhibit.
That's correct, Your Honor. The sticker numbers are on the individual bags.
Great.
And for 458, there's like a title page. That's actually, I believe, 462. So if we could go to 458, please. If we could zoom out, please. Keep zooming out. Can we turn that over? Did you recognize this, or could you see what this was?
Yes,
What was it? Or what is it?
it was paper instructions on a remote-controlled amphibious tank.
If we could please put up 460, please. And there's a small plastic bag in that, if we could zoom in on the label. What was the small label on the small plastic bag? What did that indicate it was?
was from the science company Electrode, aluminum flat.
And if we could please put up 462. We could zoom out a little bit. Keep going. And if we could turn that over, please. What was this?
That's the instructions for a ballistic helmet, a Kevlar helmet.
I've handed you what I've marked as People's Exhibit 463. What is that?
This is an empty box of Remington 223 ammunition
Where was that found?
in the black garbage bag.
Thank you. Move to omit 463, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, P-TR-463 is omitted.
I've handed you what I've marked as 464. What is that?
This is a empty fired shell casing for a 223 round.
Where'd you find that?
This was also found in the black garbage bag. My initials are on the packaging.
Move to omit 464, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
P-TR-464 is omitted without objection.
If I can have a second, Your Honor.
Yes. Mr. Orman, why don't we go ahead and take our break for the day, unless you want to reach a different point.
Could I just have 3 more minutes, Your Honor?
Okay,
Thank you.
you're on the clock.
Try to be quick. I've handed you what I've marked for identification as People's Exhibit 4094. Can you take a look at that?
Yes,
What is that?
looks like a picture of the shell casing that you previously showed me.
Is that an accurate picture of the way the shell casing looked when you found it in that garbage bag?
Yes,
Move to omit 4094, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, P-TR-4094 is admitted and may be published.
Thank you. If we could please put up 4094. And is that a fired or unfired shell casing?
that's a fired shell casing.
Your Honor, this is a good time to break for the day, and I think that was under 3 minutes.
That was. All right, members of the jury, it's a little bit after 5. I want to remind you before you go home today that you're not to discuss any aspect of the case with each other through any means. You cannot talk to each other about the case or your experience as a juror. You can talk about other things, and I encourage you to do that, but just don't talk about the case, please. In addition, you may not talk to anyone else about the case through any means. That includes your spouse, significant other, or family members, or other family members. All you can tell people is that you're a juror in Arapahoe County, and that we anticipate the trial will last until August or September. Please do not talk to any witnesses, parties, or attorneys about anything. Please make sure you wear your juror badge at all times whenever you're on the courthouse premises. If you hear anyone talking about the case, please remove yourself from that location immediately. If you happen to inadvertently hear something about the case, despite your best efforts to remove yourself immediately from that location, please let my staff know that you need to talk to me. Please don't talk to any members of the media about anything. Remember, please, that you must not read, view, or listen to any news or media reports that may refer to the case. There's a media coverage of the case, and so you must be particularly vigilant while listening to the radio, watching TV, reading the newspaper, and using the internet. Please remember that you cannot visit any locations mentioned in the case or conduct your own investigation outside the courtroom. You cannot obtain any information related to the case from outside sources. You must make all decisions based solely on the evidence and information presented in the courtroom and the instructions of law that I provide to you. You cannot start forming any opinions about the case until I tell you that you can start deliberating. You have to keep an open mind throughout the trial. Neither sympathy nor prejudice for the prosecution or the defendant may affect any of your decisions in the case. And finally, remember that the attorneys have a job to do. They're required to make objections sometimes, so please don't hold it against them when they do. Similarly, I'm doing my best to do my job, which is to apply the rules of law, so don't draw any inferences from that, okay? With all those admonishments in mind, enjoy your evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at the usual time. Thank you. The record should reflect that the jury has exited the courtroom now. Everyone may be seated. And sir, you're free to go. We'll see you tomorrow, okay? Your subpoenas continued until tomorrow. Thank you. All right. Is there anything to take up on behalf of the people at this time? Mr. Orman?
If I could ask that the exhibits that we admitted this afternoon through this witness remain or be back tomorrow morning. I've put some of them up on the display, but the other ones I may want to publish the old-fashioned way when we're done with this witness.
Okay. Anything on behalf of the defense?
Yes, Your Honor, very quickly. People's 359 and 360 were introduced this morning, and these two documents are attached to a full evidence envelope, the problem being similar to the one I described at the bench, and I would just ask that these be removed from the evidence envelope and be available separately.
Any objection, Mr. Edson?
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Then that's my order. Anything else, Ms. Spengler? No. All right. See you tomorrow, folks. Thank you. The court will be in recess.